What is your name, spirit?
The following haunters have been assigned to you. Treat them well.
Welcome everyone to Let's Play Ghostmaster. I am your narrator, BrainBoy20. Welcome. This is another game from my childhood that I've gotten very far in, but I've never fully completed, mostly because I couldn't understand difficulty, and this game has a few ticks about it that makes it somewhat difficult. But for the spirit of Halloween, I decided, why not revisit this game of old? Anyway, before we start with the tutorial mission, Haunting 101, we'll head off to the ghoul room. Oh, and I apologize for the cutscene earlier. I can't do much about that volume. I might actually try some audio editing this time to see if I can get it to lower, but I don't know how that's going to turn out. Anyway, to the ghoul room.
This Gravenville school is your base of operations on the mortal plane. Come here when you wish to train your ghostly minions. However, training costs gold Plasm, which you will earn only when you start haunting. Click the button at the bottom right of the screen to leave the ghoul room.
Yes, the ghoul room. A few explanations before we begin. I'm going to just show you the ghosts that we have now. Well, I'll show you what they look like, and I'll do their bios and such later, but as of now, I only showed you that stuff at the beginning from my options menu because this game, some of my Steam games have a horrible habit of suddenly reverting the options back to defaults without me noticing. So in case suddenly everything looks terrible, just warn me and I'll set the options straight. That's just for my own personal use in case I forget what I had originally set them to. That, and if you think any of the sound options are too low, feel free to ask me, and I'll just raise these sound options up to max. I'll raise the sound options a bit until everything gets better. I don't want to overpower the music, yet I don't want the sound options to overpower me. Anyway, Ghostmaster. It's somewhat of an RTS, yet also at the... It's a rather strange game, but it is incredibly enjoyable. This is the ghoul room, though. The ghoul room holds the locations of all potential ghosts. At the same time, it also holds all your current ghosts and allows you to upgrade them. And each ghost has their own little bio too. So, let's start with lowest one, Stonewall. And I'll leave a small section. I'll just leave a small section up that allows you to skip this. And if you want me to do this, say, at the end of the game instead, because... actually, why not? I'll give you all their names and what their fetters are. This will come in handy during the tutorial, but... I'll just do a mouse over so you at least see who they are. Just leave it in the comments below if you'd rather me just do the bios at the end or do them as the ghosts come up. This is just kind of a spontaneous, unplanned thing, but then again, I've never had an air of professionalism. As if I ever could. Also apologize to people with arachnophobia and such, but then again, these are ghosts, so you're just going to have to make that little jump ahead. Anyway, without further ado, off to the tutorial mission. And I've left the tutorial on for your use. I remember somewhat how to play this game, but I haven't done so in a long time.
You are ready for your field training, young Ghost Master. We are taking you to the Kappa Lambda sorority house in Gravenville University. Only a small number of sorority girls are in residence at the moment, but scaring them all away should be a sufficient test of your abilities.
Before embarking upon a haunting, you must select your team of ghosts. To play the tutorial, which is highly advisable, click upon Recommend, then upon Go Haunt. You can elect to assemble a team yourself, but you can only benefit from the tutorial with the recommended team.
This game has a nice recommendation feature, and I would recommend that if you ever decide to get this game, use the recommend feature. There's almost no reason not to.
These 6 tabs allow access to 6 different haunter classes arranged in order of power. Sprites will drain your haunting resources the least, and horrors will drain them the most.
Each of these have certain classifications of them. As the classifications come up, you'll be able to learn what's what, basically. Yeah. What I mean by that is that each one has a specific theme tied to them. You'll be able to determine what their fetters are just by looking at the top portion, where they are in the column, and that column will be what they can bind to and what they most likely do while working for you. But as you can see, there's a lot of ghosts we have yet to have. Oh, and if you see something like this is intentional. I'll explain if I ever remember to go with those. Anyway, recommended? Let's go.
Welcome to the mortal realms, where all your haunting will take place. If you need to freeze time or abort the haunting, click on the menu icon bottom left or press escape. If you wish to turn the tutorial off but continue this haunting, click on the menu. Use that to move between floors. You can use the up and down arrow icons, the page up and page down keys, or hold the right button while using the mouse wheel. If you wish to turn the tutorial off but continue this haunting, click on the menu icon and select Options. If you move your pointer to the edges of the screen, you will be able to move around the world. You may also use the arrow keys to move around. To rotate your view, click on the rotational arrows displayed on the screen. The view can be rotated left and right in 45-degree increments. You can also rotate your view through any angle by holding the right mouse button and moving the mouse. When you hold the right mouse button, moving the mouse left and right rotates the view, and moving the mouse up and down tilts the view. You can restore the original view by clicking on the cube-like button between the rotational arrows. You can zoom in and out using your mouse wheel. Insert and delete will also allow you to zoom in and out. You may want to change your viewpoint to reflect your needs. A zoomed-out long view is good for planning. A closer, zoomed-in view aids in selecting specific mortals or assessing their behavior. Also remember that you may not see everything of importance without changing your viewpoint. To help you keep track of the mortals, when you position your cursor upon a mortal's pack icon, a box appears informing you of their status. The red bar shows a mortal's terror, the yellow bar, their madness, and the blue bar, their belief. As you frighten mortals, their red terror bar will increase in size. The white portion of a bar shows a mortal's willpower. When terror exceeds willpower, a mortal will flee. Likewise, when their madness exceeds the white portion of the madness bar, they will go insane. To help you keep track of the mortals in each haunting, you have the Mortal Pack. Click upon a mortal's image in the pack to view their options menu.
This tutorial's really fast, and I'd rather not speak over it. I also, at the beginning, I didn't remember that hitting any of the buttons might trigger later tutorials early. Apologies.
You can use this option to get a cinematic view of any mortal in the haunting. You can use this option to locate mortals in the haunting. Now you can see what she sees, but you cannot exert any control upon mortals in this way. Either mouse button will return you to your usual view. Here, you can learn what the astral records say about a mortal. Click the Close button or away from the bio window to close it. Now we're ready to look at your team of haunters. The Haunter Pack to the left works much like the Mortal Pack, but for your ghosts. Experiment with your Haunter's options for a... This menu gives you all the options you need in order to control your Haunters. You can learn more about a Haunter by clicking on Epitaph. Experiment with your Haunter's options for a while.
Right, if this game could be any nicer about the tutorial. Another option in the comments below. I could also have my
Take a look at one of your ghost's epitaphs.
Exactly as the tutorial suggesting. I could just read the epitaph off whenever we're using a ghost. Albeit that might be difficult when it gets to certain stages of the game, so I wouldn't recommend it.
Boo is a spook, a versatile but relatively weak type of spirit. You can bind Boo to any room of a house by clicking Bind and then clicking in a room where your pointer lights up. Using pursuit powers, Boo can roam to chase mortals, effectively changing his fetter in order to pursue. These are orders, which you can use to give instructions to your haunters. Some ghost masters use orders to run a tight shop with their ghosts. Others prefer to let their team follow their instincts. Your haunters will become better trained the more you use them, and so can learn to use ever more complex orders. Experiment with orders every now and then. See what you think. These are the Haunter's powers arranged in order of their Plasm bands. They work like a ladder. Clicking on a power allows a Haunter to use any power up to that Plasm band. Let's get some of your Haunters into the field. To exist in the mortal realm, ghosts must be bound to a fetter. When you point at a Haunter, the fetters you can bind it to light up on screen. Note that boo and clatter claws fetter inside, so the borders of rooms light up to indicate they are fetters when you are binding these haunters. To bind a haunter to a fetter, select it from the haunter pack and click upon the Bind option. You now carry the haunter on your pointer, and any fetters that ghosts can use show up in the haunting. Simply click on a marked fetter while carrying the haunter to bind it to that fetter. Your haunter arrives in the mortal realms, ready to wreak havoc. The glow indicates that it is invisible to mortals at the moment. You can use the Powers menu to change which powers your haunter uses to haunt.
A brief explanation. Why you see this bar is glowing, this is how much power I'm using currently. This is how much power we have total. As you use power, the green portion drains. If this ever reaches 0, you lose the haunt
Try giving more
immediately.
plasm to your haunters by selecting a ghost from the haunter pack, selecting powers, and then clicking on a different plasm band.
Only when using powers does this bar get used up. But even if you turn it all off, the bar drains naturally anyway after you start the haunt. That was perfect.
The green plasm bar shows how much plasm you've acquired and how much you are using. The dark green proportion of the bar shows how much plasm. Up to the point a power was used, your ghostly presence was keeping the mortals on edge. From now on, the mortals will calm down if you do not keep scaring them. As they calm, the plasm will dry up. Don't say I didn't warn you. The dark green proportion of the bar shows how much plasm has been generated by scared mortals. The amount of plasm your bound haunters are using is shown in light green. For your next task, experiment with your haunters and their powers. Try to get one of the sorority girls to flee in terror.
We already have one.
Dreaded dust! I used to command the storms, dearie, but since I went and got myself sucked into this electric broomstick, all I can manage is this infernal sneezing! It'd be a different matter if I got free, mind you. I'd whip up a storm to wake the dead!
Excellent. See the sorority girls scatter beneath your might. Because a mortal has fled, the haunting fear level has permanently risen, giving you more plasm to spend.
Oh.
Restless spirits can be found at most hauntings. You will be able to see their form even if their essence is trapped within an object. A spirit cannot leave its fetter while its essence is trapped, but otherwise acts like any other bound ghost. If you click on Restless Spirits, they will tell you their tale of woe. Listen carefully to what they say. If you can figure out a way to solve their problem, you can lay them to rest, allowing them to join your team.
That's what that huge noise was, is that one person escaped by running away in terror. Just to say that when you see black Z's, or Z's, whatever you wish to call them by, that means a mortal has fallen unconscious. Just for future reference. Let's bind more ghosts. I already know how to fix this ghost's problems, it's in the tutorial, and it's not that difficult.
Come on, young ghost master. Find a way to get Weather Witch out of that electric broomstick.
Silence, woman. I know exactly what to do.
Okay, dearie. I'm on your
There is one thing left to learn about: Plasm alerts. If you are using more Plasm than is being generated by the mortal sphere, your Plasm balance will go into the red and the alarm will sound. You will have a short time to cut your Plasm costs by benching haunters or by lowering their Plasm bands. I'm going to carry out a Plasm drill now to show you how it works. Quickly now! Well done. That was only a drill, but you got things under control before it was too late. The next time that alarm sounds, it won't be a drill. If you don't get the Plasm under control, you will be kicked out of the mortal realms in failure. Right, that's all I'm going to teach you for now. If you want to know any more, consult your Haunter Manual. The time has come to finish these paltry mortals. Scare all the sorority girls away to win!
I swear, there's more than too much... Let's see, can I draw anyone... Can I force anyone to go crazy? Now, there are certain powers... Some things the tutorial won't tell you. There are certain powers which just raise belief. Belief means how much their terror will raise when you do something like this. When they have the ×2 multiplier around them, that means their
which
belief...
powers can build belief and batter down skepticism. You will need them.
Like leak and rattle chains. By removing skepticism, that means they're more susceptible to the powers of ghosts, and let's make sure that they can't have an escape, shall we? Can I give you orders? Yes, I can. Okay. Only use powers of mortals at present.
Mortals try to find safe places to hide. If they think it's safe to be outside, you could use Weather Witch to change their mind.
Ah, Siren Song. It's one of the few powers that actually attract mortals to them. And the epic music begins. Come on, I must bind you somewhere. Sure. Let's get
You can look
shit.
at a mortal's bio for hints on how to terrify them.
It's already over. We haven't even used all the powers. Let's bind you here.
You can look at epitaphs to learn more about your haunters.
Gust wasn't what I wanted you to use, but alright.
Congratulations! You did it! You should note that thanks to our time gate accessed via the high scare table, you can always retry earlier hauntings. You can go back for training or to pick up restless spirits you didn't get the first time. You can spend the gold plasm you get for victorious hauntings to teach your haunters new powers. Just remember that once you have taught them a new power, you cannot change your mind. Don't say I didn't warn you. Now get out of here and go get your first real assignment. Make us proud, young Ghost Master.
Yes, ma'am. Anyway, as you can see, this game acts as a bit of a score attack as well. The higher your score, the more gold plasm you get. I am going to redo the first level off-screen, but I'll at least show you the results of it. Or attempt to. As this is just going to be the first episode and tutorial video. But, well, and I'm a bit tired as well, and school's tomorrow. But on the weekend, which should be the next time I do this, we'll continue. Now, Evil Genius itself isn't Evil Genius. Sword of the Stars of the Pit is not going to be over. I am going to finish that one on the weekend, taking time out of this one in order to finish it. But, well, when we come back, we'll start the first mission. So, Hope you've all enjoyed the set. This has been BrainBoy20 with our first Let's Play, Ghostmaster, and I'm signing off. Almost forgot the nice animations that occur afterwards, and the high scares. Anyway, now the true goodbye. Goodbye.